Hello, this is Seamus and 7MYW. I thought on today's video I would share something that I do with my ham radio equipment. And I'm sure there are plenty of other ham operators who do the same thing or something very similar. But I don't feel that FM repeaters get enough usage like they used to. Times have changed in the ham radio field, and many people have either gone to digital or they use FM repeaters sparingly. Remember back when I was into the hobby quite heavily, and I would use FM repeaters all the time, as well as FM simplex, especially 2 meters and 70 centimeters. But it seemed like they were starting to wane as things changed, as technology grew and hotspots became available. Digital formats became available along with worldwide possibilities, that a lot of the FM repeaters seem to start to lose their luster. Now granted, it does depend on where you live. I currently live and have lived for the last almost 40 years in the Portland-Vancouver metro area. We've always had a really good presence, very positive presence of many different repeaters. And it still actually is the same. We still have a lot of them. We're very blessed with a lot of repeaters. Definitely never a problem finding a repeater to use. But finding that person that wants to use the repeater as well is a little tougher. So when I came back after about a 6-year hiatus of not doing a whole lot with radio, I went on to the FM bands, and it just didn't seem like there were very many people on there. So I decided what I would do, and I still do this every single day, is to pick a different repeater every single day and just listen to that repeater. I'll definitely go on there and call out that I'm listening, see if I could reach anybody, and if there were anybody who was interested in a QSO. It's actually worked well. I currently use my Kenwood TS2000 for most of this. This radio allows me to monitor 2 individual frequencies or 2 repeaters at the same time. So that way I'm able to listen to both bands if I want. Or it also has a wonderful receive on the subband, which will allow me to listen also to 220 as well as 6 meters too. So there are a lot of options that I have available to me on listening to different repeaters. But it's not just the listening; it's getting out there and making yourself known that you're listening, that you're willing to chat and to get onto that repeater and use it. I think a lot of us are definitely in tune to using the National Simplex frequency, which I do use. I also use 14658 locally with some of my friends when they're on the way to work or whenever. And so there's always options in that. But when it comes to repeaters, every day I have as many as 30 or 40 different repeaters. So I'll usually pull into a repeater that I just don't use very often and have that on my standard frequency on my main band, and then I'll have 70 centimeters or 220 on my secondary band, on my sub band, and I'll have both of those on all day, and I'll get on there and call. Of course, I can't call on 220 on this particular receiver or transceiver, but 70 centimeters is wide open. Until I can find a 1.2 gigahertz addition to this, I'm still looking for that. I haven't been able to find one of the optional modules for this, but maybe that's something I would love to see that be the focus of a national campaign on using your repeaters, your local FM, or maybe even your C4 FM repeaters. That takes me to this delightful radio. This is my Yaesu FT991A. I suppose you could say the same thing with the ICOM 9700 and other radios, but this particular radio gives me the option of 2 meters and 70 centimeters, but I have C4 FM options as well. There is a C4 FM 145.5625 that I could use for simplex, which I do use sometimes. But when it comes to the repeaters, we have local repeaters that allow the capabilities of being able to use C4FM and get onto Fusion. All it requires is the tap of a button. And as you can see here in just a second, it's going to pull it up. And there it is. So I can get onto the local repeaters as well as my hotspot and use the repeater itself under C4FM to get onto Fusion. But I still have the options of FM. And I think that's where I hear a lot of silence on these FM repeaters. I just don't hear the amount of people using them like they used to. Maybe, just maybe, it would be prudent for hams, if they have the capability, to park themselves on a different repeater each day or every other day. Get out there and explore. See if you can scare up a QSO on any of the local repeaters that sit quiet. Repeaters aren't inexpensive, especially if there's rent that has to be paid for it. There's the upkeep, of course the electricity, the electric bill, everything that goes with it, and the maintenance of them. But why not get out there and use some of those local repeaters? It's just something that I've always found was a lot of fun. When the HF bands are not active, or where you just can't get out, whatever the case may be, or you just you want to talk to somebody local, how delightful to be able to use those FM repeaters. Or, as we all do, go to the simplex frequencies, and we can just twirl around and find out if there are people on those frequencies too. And you can use your handheld. It doesn't have to be a base rig by any means. Most of the repeaters are good, and they have a sensitive receiver, so you can get onto those bands. Anyway, that was what I thought for the day. I really enjoy using FM and C4FM. I have tried DMR simplex as well. Doesn't seem to be much activity even in our metro area for DMR for the simplex FM, but it is out there. So there are various options we can use as ham operators. This time though, concentrating on standard everyday FM and checking out the various repeaters. Get out there, make some friends, get to know who's in your area other than through the clubs. Be surprised how many people have handhelds, but they just never hear anybody on their local machines. Therefore, they don't have anybody to really talk to. I think it'd be a good idea to have some type of that. Maybe ARRL could have an article about that, or somebody could do a YouTube video. Wow. So anyway, those are my thoughts for today. I do appreciate you watching this video. Please subscribe if you're interested in more, and hit the bell icon to let you know when there are more videos, and please do a thumbs up or leave a comment below on what you think. So I'll say 73. This is Seamus and 7MYW. Thanks for watching.